We're catching up this summer with Admiral's Captain Cole Schneider. Schneids, it's good to see you. How's everything going for you?
Pretty good, it's the weather's been nice outside back home, so been outside a lot golfing and whatnot. So it's a lot better to be home than in the middle of winter.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. We always talk in the summer. When do you start skating and how long do you wait? Well, for you, you had an 11-day power play, so to speak, that you've been out and about already.
Yeah, it's this charity that's pretty close to me and some of my buddies, and one of them actually did the whole thing where they play for 11 straight days, but um, we only did a 3-hour shifts, but that's still a lot of ice time.
So explain a little bit. You play for 11 days, so you have to rent a rink or have somebody donate the ice time to you here. Is it all pros? Is it people who just want to take a twirl? What is it?
They started a few years ago. They saw in Canada they had a record game. It was like 10 days or something like that. So they wanted to beat it for cancer research. So they had 40 players start and they played for 11 days straight, non-stopping. They slept at the rink. They raised over $1.1 million for the cancer hospital in Buffalo. So those guys got pretty beat up from doing it. And then they broke it down into shifts so more people could raise money, and they did it again. And then someone in Canada beat it again. So then they wanted to have the record again. So they did it again. And then now we're back to the 3-hour shifts. So that's what we just did. We played a game for 3 hours, but they keep track of the score. And it was like 10,000 to 10,000 at that point when we were on the ice.
Well, that's unbelievable. So is it all pro athletes? Is it college athletes? Is it like, could I sign up if I was interested in playing, or how would it work?
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. Most of my buddies are bar leaguers now, so I was on the ice with them. But the highest fundraising teams get to play against the Sabres alumni, and
Oh,
my buddies were their team was one of that, so they got to do the closing ceremonies against the Sabres alumni.
really? So drop some names here. Sabres alumni. Who you and I have different alumni in our minds because I'm older than you are. So I would say like Danny Gare and guys like that. For you, I mean, who was involved?
No, a couple of years ago, we were one of the highest fundraising teams too, and I played, and like Gianta was out there, just local guys that have stayed around. Jay McKee, I'm pretty sure has done it. Andrew Peters.
So guys you knew of, one, and two, when you were in the organization, maybe you played with them.
Yeah, Marty Braun was in goalie for a little bit, and then it was a little harder for some of these bar leaguers to score on him, so he put his kid in for a little bit. But his kid was pretty good too.
So back in Buffalo for the summer, it's nice to go back, but I know it was a little disappointing to go back when you did. This team kind of caught fire. It did something no Admirals team had done in 11 years, and I know that doesn't necessarily weigh on players. But did you guys feel the impact that you had in the front office and maybe on the fans in the stands when you won that first playoff series against Manitoba?
I mean, it definitely, they're there behind you, supporting you, but it really hit us pretty hard. As a group, we were pretty tight knit, and I've been a part of teams before where like you get knocked out, and it is what it is. But I think the guys really sat in the locker room and were pretty upset about losing. We weren't ready to go home yet, but both teams were out there to win, and that's what happened.
In your team, in your case, you will have several guys back. Some of them didn't play because they were rookies just out of college or camp or out of juniors or wherever it may have been. That's a great lesson for those guys, isn't it? To go through not only a win, but into the second round of the playoffs, a huge lesson.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of those guys got to play too. Those guys really came in. They worked hard even when they weren't getting to play, and it was nice guys like Use and Wills and a couple of those other guys got to play in the playoffs because that's great experience for those guys.
So we all know that every year teams change. There's free agency, all of these things going on. We've seen in the last week how much last year's Milwaukee Admirals are going to look different this year with Matt Tennyson's situation now, and Matthew Olivier, and all of this. How do you view all of that as the returning captain?
I mean, you just got to look at it as a new year, and the team is never the same. You'd want to be with your buddies again, but the new guys coming in become immediate family to you too. So whoever the guys in the room are, we'll just get close and get together and try to be as tight knit as we were this year and win some hockey games.
So are you the one who goes out then when new faces arrive, and maybe you've played with them somewhere along the way, but are you the one that July 13th is NHL free agency, AHL free agency I think is already started. Do you get on the phone after a player has signed to introduce yourself and say, hey, when we get to Milwaukee, I'll show you around?
Yeah, some of those guys, you've met. The hockey world's so small. We did it at a podcast the one year. You're talking about the 7 degrees and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, guys here and there through other guys, and you talk to them. But the older guys always take the lead when you get back to Milwaukee and have like a cookout or something at someone's house, and that's really how you start getting everyone together.
Even a little further now, are you in on recruiting anybody? Maybe you share an agent with players or something like that. Are you in on that part?
Not yet, but last year I convinced Blue just to come, and he's one of my buddies from back here, so that was nice.
That's very cool. For yourself this season, you took a beating. You go to places, and we all know this, to watch you play. You go to places where you got to take a beating if you're going to have success, and you paid the price this year. But it also led to a career year in goals. It led to a playoff series win. How long do you need to relax and rest in the offseason to get ready for another year? Like, I'm assuming you want to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, I took some time off. I'm back in the gym now. I haven't really been on the ice that much, but you get bored sitting around doing nothing. My golf game's not that good, so annoyed with being out there all the time, and I need a break from that. So, you're always thinking about getting back on the ice.
So do you have to train harder now than you did when you were 22, or is it about the same?
I think I've always trained pretty hard in the summer, but I just got to do a little more stretching now.
Yeah, I get that. The season you had, we mentioned your career high in goals for a single season. Also on the cusp of some real big history. 500 career points in the American Hockey League, more than 200 goals in the American Hockey League. I mean, those are fantastic numbers. And I know for you, it kind of pales in comparison to what the team does. But at the same time, when you get to the off season, do you consider all of this and say, wow, that was a hell of a year?
I mean, people see it and they tell me that. I like to think of myself as more of a team guy. Sure. I want to be scoring goals, helping the team. And I look at the beginning of every year and kind of set goals for myself. And some of those numbers were some of the things I wanted to get to. So especially the 200 goals was one of my goals. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get there this year, but I was happy with getting there.
But what you say about being a team guy, you can be a star. You can score 30 goals and be a team guy, obviously. I mean, nobody's saying Wayne Gretzky wasn't a team guy. Mark Messier, all of this stuff. And I am putting you in their category in the fact that you're a leader, you're a team guy, but you also have the individual numbers to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's still important to me as well. But like I said, I'd rather have a championship than those kind of numbers.
So in the off season, then, do you watch really? Are you very observant on all of this? Like, are you sort of a fan when free agency starts and say, oh boy, they signed this guy. All right, he's going to help us. All of that. Do you get in that involved? Do you sit in front of the TV and watch this all day long?
I pay attention and put some line combos in my head, but at the end of the day, I'm not making those decisions. So.
You know what? You say that Mike Greer was a Buffalo alum. He just named the GM here today.
Yeah,
so
I saw that. He was a great player back in the day for them, and it's awesome for him. And he was part of some good teams in Buffalo. So
no doubt about that. But I bring that up because it's natural, I think, for fans to do it, but you never hear of players sitting down and doing it necessarily. So that's kind of neat to hear.
Yeah, I mean, him and Drew are both part of some of the best teams that the Sabres ever had. So I know he was working with him in New York, and it's good to see for him.
So after the draft, then, and we know you're not part of the development camp, but do you pay attention to that at all, or is it like, okay, that's out of my control? Control what I can. Let's not worry so much about it. We'll see what we have in Milwaukee when we get there.
Yeah, I mean, you never really know where everyone's gonna land, so I don't really pay too much attention to that. I just remember how hard it was going in the middle of summer to work that hard for a week in front of all the management and coaches and stuff like that. So it's not an easy week for those guys, and we appreciate them doing it.
Yeah. Looking ahead to this coming season, what do you expect?
You know, the first goal would be to get back in the playoffs and go as far as we can. Like I said, that's at the end of the day, that's what I want, is for our team to be successful.
Does it grate you that Chicago won the championship?
I mean, that's got to be one of our biggest rivals right there. We played them so many times. They're so close. One of my buddies from back here was on the team. He won his second championship. So seeing him walk around with the cup for 2 years is kind of rubs the rest of the guys around here like, oh, we want to go get it for us.
Who is that? Podorowski?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has two straight because they didn't contest it for 2 years. So he won it in Charlotte and won it in Chicago. And obviously a fantastic player for that team. But do you take any, like your season was ended by the team that won the championship? Does that matter to you?
I mean, a little bit, you know, if you're going to get knocked out, you want to get knocked out by the best. He's a really good player, and been working out and skating together for a while now. So if someone else is going to win it, you want it to be him. You just wouldn't want it to be on your rival team.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned your golf game is not so good. Can it get better?
It's good some days. Other days I want to throw a club.
Just reading, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. But that it's tough to be perfect in practice all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you can break a stick here and there, but you break a golf club, it's coming out of your pocket.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Well, you're missing Summerfest. They got something similar in Buffalo?
We got a few concerts here and there. We went to Taste the Country. It's like a country festival, but nothing compared to that.
Yeah. It was yeah. I saw a few bands, and maybe we'll see a few more. Schneids, what else in the off season is going on? Anything, or is it just, are you closing in on full-time training here now?
Yeah, pretty much just getting back in the gym, and soon we'll be on the ice a couple times a week, and then full time. But take a vacation or two here and there. Take some time off that too.
Very good. Schneids, good to see you. Great to catch up with you. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
You too. Thanks, Aaron.
All right. That's Admirals Captain Cole Schneider.